Finally, we're gonna be taking Buzz the yellow RX8 up a notch in the sound department. I got a cat back. This is not a new one. This is a used one because new cat backs are very expensive for RX8s, and honestly, I don't mind the stock exhaust sound enough to spend $1,000 for like 9 horsepower. And on my, I only paid what I could sell my yellow RX8 for the seats for. So like whatever RX8 seats are worth, that's what I gave for this car. I really don't want to like quadruple my investment. So what we've got here, I want to drop it, is an exotic speed, catback for a Mazda RX-8. This one's pretty gangster. It's got, it's like 3-inch, which is overkill. And it's got 4-inch Big Johnny Boy tips, which I personally don't like. And it's used, so, oh, that one doesn't rattle. I think it's this side. I'm in a very precarious situation here holding this. I definitely don't want to drop it. The tips rattle. So we're gonna put it on, see how it sounds, and then this thing gets to go to the dyno. In addition to this fine piece of automotive jewelry, I have this not so fine piece of automotive jewelry. So this is an aftermarket catalytic converter resonator deal for an RX-8. This one's used. You can hear the smoked catalytic converter. So the car currently has a stock, I think it might be an aftermarket one. Actually, I think it's stock. Resonator mid-pipe combo in it. This one, we're gonna convert this cat to a high flow cat and put this on the car. So what we're also gonna change, or when I'm gonna change this, is when this thing goes to the dyno, I'm gonna bring the stock one along as well. Or actually, I'm probably just gonna leave the stock one on and bring this one. We're gonna put this car on the dyno at Phalanx Performance in a future video with this catback exhaust. We're gonna put an intake on it, and obviously we're gonna test how much horsepower does a clogged up catalytic converter rob you of. So, but for now, we're putting the catback on. And I'm not gonna throw away the stock exhaust because this one might be too loud and I might just wanna have my stock quiet, exhaust back. I got the green RX-8 to be loud with the whole hybrid deal going in. Like that one's gonna have to be loud to make horsepower, right? We're just testing parts on Buzz the RX-8. So let's jack this up, pop the exhaust off. These aren't that hard to change. They're just super freaking heavy. Drop that thing out of there, not get crushed by it, and then bolt up the catback, which is gonna melt my bumper because the tips are so big. And eventually I will cut the tips off and put smaller tips on it if I like how it sounds. If I don't, then I'm gonna take it back off. Ow. All right, guys. The more views we get on this video, the more likely I can get a lift soon. So let's keep enjoying the yellow RX-8 videos because this sucks. It makes it more relatable, for everybody working in their garage at home, for me not to have a lift. Now that we're doing this every day, woo, I want a lift. Rip. The cinematic reveal of the stock Mazda RX-8 exhaust. Look at that thing. Isn't it so nice? Cover your ears. Look at that stock exhaust. And look at what $1,000 and maybe like 10 extra horsepower gets you. So let's put this back on in place of that. Fire this thing up and take it for a rip. You know what I might do really quick? It would probably take me 30 seconds to drill one of these rivets out and just run a self-tapper in there. And then this wouldn't rattle as much. Maybe I'll just drill 2 of them out and self-tapper that deal down. Rattle now. Look at that barrel. Nice and round even. And here's the big win. The big reveal. Do they fit inside the stock barrels? Good enough for who it's for, huh? Look at all that nice patina on that titanium tip. Guess what it doesn't do? Okay, it still might rattle a little bit, but hey, there's a self-tapper in there for me to feel good about myself. So drop in the comments below how long you think it's going to take for me to melt these, because at that point I'll just go buy a whole nother RX8, because it'd be cheaper to buy the whole car than it would be for me to buy just these little trim pieces from somebody, most likely. Let's hear this lovely exotic speed exhaust and my yellow car's low compression. Low compression, beautiful fire up. Okay. Really not that much louder. It is literally the aftermath of crazy tornadoes in the Midwest right now. Not bad. Let's take this thing for a rip. I'm gonna get some flybys while we're getting to our place where we're gonna drive it, and I'm setting cameras up and all the magic. Enjoy the stock exhaust ripping through the forests of southern Indiana of the Buzz RX8. It's literally not that much louder, if any louder than what it was. Maybe like 30% louder or 20% louder. But you can still hear the intake noise, which is awesome. No drone really, at least at 4,000 RPM. I mean, you can hear the car, but it's not droney and terrible. Like, the thing that always annoyed me about the green car on the track when it was stock was that you couldn't hear it at all. So if there was another car next to you, if anything was making noise, you couldn't hear to make your shifts, you couldn't hear it when you rev match. Honestly, this thing sounds pretty good. Still got my ghost cam going on. Alright, well, I mean, we're facing uphill and we're stopped. We might as well see if this thing will spin the tires a little bit, or we'll just leave an apex seal on the ground behind us, you know? It's not bad. I mean, like, it's a stick shift, so you can get it to spin first gear a little bit. Just gotta earn it. Hope your clutch sticks, doesn't explode. A little bell housing part. Hopefully this old catback actually makes a difference on the dyno. I'm curious. I think the catalytic converter will probably make a bigger difference than the catback, but at least now we're sounding a little crispier. We can make a little more noise with our bright yellow RX8. Really sounds pretty good. It doesn't sound piston-y, which I like. Still gives it that like little rotary tone. Hot start. Best starting low compression RX8 I've ever seen. Hot start after rev. Still the best starting low compression RX8 I've ever seen. I want to show you guys something super cool that I've had for a real long time. So when I first got into first gens many years ago, it was like my college car. I convinced my parents it was super practical. I was so glad that they agreed with me, even though I was like buying it with my own money. Regardless, I got into mountain bikes not long after I got into RX-7s, and I needed a way to haul my mountain bike in my RX-7. So if you've ever seen my silver car, which unfortunately it's just rotting away in my field, it has a bunch of scratches around the rear hatch from me loading my bike into the back of the trunk. Okay, so on RX8, you cannot fit a full-size mountain bike inside the car without taking both wheels off and like doing some finagling, and then it has to go in the back seat. So what I bought 10 years ago, literally, I've had this thing for 10 years. It's so cool. This is a Sea-Sucker Hornet. So it's the small one. It just holds the handlebars. And I kind of use it in a way it might not be designed for, but you know, engineer and make things work. So I have a strap. We close that in the trunk, so we're all good. It's not going anywhere. And then these are suction cups, like super industrial suction cups. This would probably rip the glass out before it came off. Fortunately for me, there's still rings on the RX8 from where I've hauled my bike before. Put these on, compressor them up, so they're nice and sucked down. The thing that's crazy is like, I keep these Sea-Suckers greased so they always stick. If you let the rubber dry out, then your suction cups don't work. This is my mountain bike. It's a Rocky Mountain Altitude. Best bike I've ever ridden. It's sick. 29er, carbon wheels. It's the jam. Oh, nailed it on the handlebars. So I set my bike up here just like you see. We ratchet the old suction-y boys down. Bam, bam, super tight. Bam, bam, super tight. And then for the strap, you grab this deal. You're supposed to put it through the wheel, but it's usually too short and there's a lot hanging around. So I go up here to the chainstay, loop this deal in, and you're ready to go. I would love to say that this is like Sea-Sucker sponsored cool part of the video, but this is just me and my love for mountain bikes showing you how I haul a mountain bike in my very cheap RX8, because like I could have got a Mazda Speed 3 and then I could have like put it in the back, or maybe I get a hitch for this thing one day and I could put a hitch rack on it, or when I do my Safari roof rack, then I won't have to use this and I can use like my normal rail mounted bike roof things, because the RX8's like not that low or not that high to be able to put the bike on the car easily. So with that, guys, that's the cat back on the RX8 and how it sounds. Totally not a huge crazy transformation in the video. It sounds really good. I'm happy with it. Honestly, this day and age, this car, not really trying to make it a race car, so I'm not too worried about how it sounds. But what I want to do is document the difference that a better flowing exhaust makes for you guys. So most likely the next time y'all see this thing, because I don't know that I'll make a video about putting an intake on this deal, because like that's a kind of a pain. I'm going to take the bumper off. Maybe it'll be a video, but y'all let me know in the comments if you want to see that happen. We're going to get an AEM intake for this deal, because that's kind of the best run-of-the-mill intake for the RX8s. We're going to put that on here, and then we're going to take this thing back to the dyno with VersaTuner, and we're going to strap it on just like it sits with the intake and the catback, do a pull, see how much it makes. You'll know how much it improved from when we made 113 horsepower before, and then ideally we make like 118 horsepower. Then we're going to take the catalytic converter mid-pipe off, put the other one on the dyno. So we'll know the difference that just the catalytic converter makes, still untuned. Once we've got that on, then we're ready to VersaTune, see how much power we can get out of it. So expect the next dyno video for the RX8 to be a rather informational one, because I think it's going to be cool to just see like, okay, this gave me 5 horsepower, this gave me 6 horsepower, the tune gave me 3.8 horsepower, and now my car makes 142 horsepower to the wheels. And it's a ripper of an RX8 that, you know, like for me, let's see, intake, pair of seats, coils, pair of seats, catback exhaust, I'm borrowing it, but probably would cost you $400 to $500 to buy one used. So let's say 2 pairs of seats, a tuner, Ernie's dyno time, let's say, what are we up to? 6 pairs of seats, plus I paid a pair of seats for the car. So that's 7 pairs of seats is my total investment into the yellow RX8. So y'all do the math. 7 pairs of seats. Go check and see how much RX8 seats sell for in good shape. That's approximately what I'm going to have in this car. So yeah, I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be cool. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I love all the love on the most recent videos. I'm excited to see the channel growing a little bit, getting some new views, getting some new members in here, some new subscribers. And I'm excited too. We got the hybrid Renesis sitting over here on the bench, ready to get stacked up. So, or I say ready to get stacked up. I gotta port it yet, and then we'll stack it up. But ready to put that thing in the green car and get the green car just, we're ready to take it to the dyno. Once all that's done, you know, we gotta build an engine, put it in the car, tune it, all that stuff. But I'm excited to take that car to the dyno to see how much it makes over like stock tired, low compression, super healthy, all out half Bridgeport Renesis hybrid, custom length, long header, like do all the deals to make the power. So with that, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Keep it rad. It's super late. I'm gonna go home and edit videos and go race around because we got a lot of stuff going on next week. So peace. This thing looks sick with the bike on it. All right, I gotta show y'all some other RX8 stuff that I got, and my FD bumper, because I got one of those now. I got some spats. Get stoked. These are the same spats that go on like the GT over there, the green car. I love them because they don't go super low, but they're like, you know, I'm not an old grandpa in my stock RX8, but like I'm an old grandpa that likes to do donuts in my stock RX8. That's what these are. In addition, I scored a set of, these are, I think, either Mazda Speed or like R1 replica kind of shine, chunky fiberglass skirts for an 8. So I don't really know what I'm going to put those on. I think they're Mazda Speed. I don't know. I don't know all the speeds and the Mazdas and the different Auto XC and the Veil Slide and all the kits for 8s. I just know that these are side skirts and they look cool. So we'll probably end up putting them on something. I don't know if they'll go on the green one. Maybe. It would look nice. But it would be a little too low. And I kind of like my touring. With my touring lip and my touring spats. And I took the touring rear spats off. Actually, one of them was falling off, so I took the other ones off. But green one, 4-rotor all tore apart, yellow one, and the red one. Peace, guys.